Big news for Manchester United fans. Ruben Amorim could cost £400 million. Andre Onana's future is decided, and we break down why Liverpool snubbed Amorim. Plus, Bruno Fernandes reveals the truth behind their Fulham loss. Stay tuned. Ruben Amorim could cost Man United £400 million as real reason Liverpool snubbed him emerges. Ruben Amorim may ultimately cost Manchester United £400 million for the team to fully adapt to his unique style of management. The 40-year-old Portuguese mastermind has had a rough start to his tenure with the Red Devils. They're currently languishing in 14th in the Premier League table with 5 wins, 3 draws and 8 losses since he took the reins following Erik ten Hag's dismissal in October. With 11 games left to play in the league, United's woes have flown over into domestic cup competitions too. They were eliminated from the League Cup by Tottenham Hotspur back in December, and then got dumped out the FA Cup on Sunday by Fulham following a tense penalty shootout at Old Trafford, meaning the Europa League is now their only shot at some silverware this term, along with their only realistic route into Europe next season. A recent report by the Sunday Times also suggests that the tide won't turn until Ineos dig deep to give Amorim an estimated £400 million for transfers to rework his inherited side into one which functions properly with his 3-4-3 system. The report highlights how young striker Rasmus Højlund is sat at 150th in the league in terms of shots taken. Andre Onana holds the 16th spot overall in terms of save percentage, and Manuel Ugarte is 37th in terms of passing accuracy, showing positions which are in drastic need of improvement should Amorim hope to bring glory back to Old Trafford. But with the club's well-documented stance on reducing outgoings, Amorim may be forced to nurture younger players coming through the youth ranks instead of bolstering his side with big money signings. United have spent around £1.6 billion trying to fine-tune their squad since Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement in 2013, but it is evident that further investment is needed should Amorim be able to achieve what David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ralf Rangnick and Ten Hag have failed to. Adaptability is something that Michael Edwards, who Liverpool owners FSG, Fenway Sports Group, appointed as their chief executive of football last year, weighed up when considering Amorim as Jurgen Klopp's replacement at Anfield. The former Sporting CP boss was shortlisted as a suitable candidate by the Reds' top brass, as Klopp's legendary tenure with the club was coming to a close. However, Sporting director Richard Hughes was also keen to ensure that the Reds landed a manager who could evolve on the Germans' setup rather than strip and revolutionize it. In the end, Edwards, Hughes and Will Spearman, the club's director of research, identified that Arne Slot's playing style resembled Klopp's, while Amorim's famous 3 at the back would have brought a substantial amount of reworking with it. The club ultimately went with Feyenoord's Slot to replace Klopp in the end, and his first summer and January transfer windows at the club have highlighted that the experts were right in assuming there was little work to be done in terms of recruitment, reports the Liverpool Echo. The Reds made just one summer signing in the shape of Federico Chiesa for an initial £10 million, a player which hasn't really been utilized all that much considering the form of Mohamed Salah, Diogo Jota and Luis Diaz. Under Slot, Liverpool currently sit first in the Premier League, 13 points clear of second-place Arsenal with just 10 games to go. Liverpool also find themselves in the League Cup final later this month against Newcastle United, while they are also in contention for the Champions League trophy, with PSG to play in the round of 16 first leg on Wednesday. United are a whopping 34 points behind Liverpool, and could be on course for their lowest ever Premier League finish should current form continue to the end of the season. The Red Devils face Real Sociedad in the round of 16 first leg of the Europa League on Thursday, before returning to Premier League action against Arsenal on Sunday, with tough clashes against Manchester City, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Chelsea and Aston Villa still to go before season's end. Andre Onana makes decision on Manchester United future. Andre Onana joined Man United for £47.2 million from Inter Milan, but has had a turbulent 2 seasons in the Premier League. Andre Onana is intent on staying at Manchester United next season, despite his struggling form. United head coach Ruben Amorim wants to sign a new goalkeeper in the summer, but Onana considers United to be the only club he wishes to play for. Onana, 28, has played 86 times for United and is under contract to the club until 2028, but his errors in recent months have brought his future into question. United are expected to recruit a new keeper for Amorim's first full campaign, as Tom Heaton is likely to retire when his contract expires in June. Number 2 goalie and Turkey international Altay Bayındar's future could lie elsewhere should he seek more playing time before the 2026 World Cup. The Africa Cup of Nations is also staged in December and January in 2025-26, with an earlier start date of December 18th, which could deprive United of Cameroon international Onana for their festive fixture schedule. Onana has made 3 errors leading to goals in the Premier League, in the defeats to Nottingham Forest, Wolves and Brighton, and he was deemed culpable for both of Ipswich Town's goals against United last week. Onana is 16th for save percentage out of 22 Premier League goalkeepers. The former Ajax and Inter Milan goalkeeper made impressive stops from Fulham playmaker Emile Smith-Rowe during the FA Cup 5th round loss, but he also irked the crowd with his slow restarts at goal kicks. United signed Onana from Inter Milan in a £47.2 million deal in July 2023 to reunite him with his former Ajax coach, Erik ten Hag. If the club wished to sell Onana, they would require a fee of £28.32 million, the remaining cost of his fee spread over the remaining 3 years of his contract, to avoid a loss under the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules. Another quirk is United have not outright sold a number 1 goalkeeper since Alex Stepney's 12 years at the club came to an end in 1978. Onana recently switched to the Lien Sports Group agency, but sources say that was a personal move and not made with the intention of seeking a transfer. Amorim has publicly defended Onana and felt it was harsh to pin Jadon Philogène's equalizer for Ipswich on the goalkeeper. He did some great saves that saved our team, and sometimes he has some problems, but that is normal, Amorim said on Friday. And if you look for our team, you can find a lot of players with that issue. I think we are not performing so well as a team, and sometimes players have a problem. People talk about the second goal from Ipswich. He is waiting for the touch of Delap. That is really clear. And then the ball continues to the goal. So that can happen. We just have to support Andre and forget about the past and prepare for the future. Man Utd's 10 options to solve crisis as Ruben Amorim given left field recommendation. For Manchester United, another trophy has passed them by, and several of their problems on Sunday can be attributed to the lack of a prolific frontman. It was Bruno Fernandes who brought the team level when Fulham had taken the lead at Old Trafford, only for the West Londoners to secure victory in a penalty shootout. Rasmus Højlund began the game leading the line, but he was withdrawn with teenager Cheeto Obi, his replacement. Hardly the most glowing indictment, taking the Dane off with the game still needing to be won. Xerxes was unable to fire a spark into United's attack, and the Dutchman was one of 2 players to miss in the shootout in front of the Stretford end. Højlund and Xerxes are the 2 main strikers in Manchester, but between them they can boast just 5 Premier League goals this season. The team have had to look elsewhere for goals, but the lack of a regular source remains a major issue. Ruben Amorim is expected to go into the market this summer with a striker high on his priority list. Given the whole structure and makeup of United's team doesn't lend itself to creating bucket loads of chances for a number 9, but an elite forward would certainly add a lot. The question for those at Old Trafford is who they choose to target. Arsenal too will be in the market for a frontman in a matter of months, increasing the competition. Wayne Rooney, the most prolific forward in United's history, believes they should go after a former player in Danny Welbeck, who left the club in 2014. He's now scoring goals for Brighton and, whilst not the most fashionable name, Rooney claimed he would still like to see him here playing. Mirror Football takes a look at the option for United, both obvious and left field, as the club look for value in the market. Victor Gyökeres, the name on everyone's lips when Amorim first arrived in Manchester. It was the current boss who decided to sign the Swede from Coventry City several years ago, and it proved an inspired decision, with Gyökeres now among the most sought-after strikers in Europe. He will, again, hit huge numbers, and Sporting Lisbon are somewhat resigned to his sale. The player himself wants European football, which means United may only be able to pursue him if they win the Europa League. Benjamin Sesko. This is certainly a man high on Arsenal's wish list, so it may be a case of who acts first. The RB Leipzig forward has been on the radar of English sides for several years and has continued his development in Germany. Leipzig have proved they will cash in on their top talent, as per their business model, and, after choosing to stay put in the past, Sesko may feel now is the time to make that next step. Danny Welbeck. Given his debut by Sir Alex Ferguson years ago, he was sold to Arsenal by Louis van Gaal but has proved to be a shrewd operator in the Premier League. Welbeck has continued to score goals. Match coverage. Bruno Fernandes reveals real reason for Manchester United's Fulham loss. Ruben Amorim can't change it. Bruno Fernandes has revealed the real reason behind Manchester United's FA Cup loss against Fulham, and it's a problem that Ruben Amorim cannot change. Manchester United's FA Cup journey ended in disappointment as they were beaten by Fulham on penalties following a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford. United started positively but struggled to create clear-cut chances, while Fulham looked dangerous on the break. Just before halftime, Calvin Bassey punished poor defending from a corner, firing the visitors into the lead. Ruben Amorim responded with changes, bringing on Alejandro Garnacho and Victor Lindelof at the break, with Christian Eriksen dropping deeper. However, Fulham continued to control possession and limit United's attacking opportunities. With half an hour to play, Amorim introduced Cheeto Obi and Case Moreau, replacing Eriksen and Rasmus Højlund, and the switch paid off as Bruno Fernandes drilled home a low strike to bring United level. United pushed hard for a winner in the final stages and extra time, with Obi and Garnacho both coming close, but Fulham held firm to take the game to penalties. Bruno Fernandes has revealed the real reason behind Manchester United's FA Cup loss against Fulham, and it's a problem that Ruben Amorim cannot change. Manchester United's FA Cup journey ended in disappointment as they were beaten by Fulham on penalties following a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford. United started positively but struggled to create clear-cut chances, while Fulham looked dangerous on the break. Just before halftime, Calvin Bassey punished poor defending from a corner, firing the visitors into the lead. Ruben Amorim responded with changes, bringing on Alejandro Garnacho and Victor Lindelof at the break, with Christian Eriksen dropping deeper. However, Fulham continued to control possession and limit United's attacking opportunities. With half an hour to play, Amorim introduced Cheeto Obi and Case Moreau, replacing Eriksen and Rasmus Højlund, and the switch paid off as Bruno Fernandes drilled home a low strike to bring United level. United pushed hard for a winner in the final stages and extra time, with Obi and Garnacho both coming close, but Fulham held firm to take the game to penalties. Both teams converted their first 3 spot kicks before Bernd Leno saved Lindelof's effort, swinging the momentum in Fulham's favor. Joshua Zirkzee then saw his penalty kept out, sealing United's exit from the competition and sending Fulham through to the quarterfinals. Why United lost versus Fulham. Speaking to the media in the aftermath of the loss, Fernandes explained that a big reason why United failed to convert their chances as the tie went on was because the side simply did not have the energy to do so. We were out of legs, most of our players were out of legs, and we couldn't keep the ball enough, Fernandes explained.